Hey yo guys, time for another episode of In the Squared Circle with Dadirrtywhyteboi. Time for the news segment. It was great to bring it back, and now we have more news to bring you, so hopefully you enjoy it. First piece of news this week. It's been a terrible week, terrible year pretty much in general for the Hogan / aka the Bollea family. First of all, the shocking thing from this week is that Linda Bollea was a part of Linda and Brooke Bollea were part of a DVD called Vehicular Lunacy, where Linda says that she loves being a speed demon, she loves avoiding the cops with the stereo cranked up, and stuff. But the bigger story of the week from the Bollea family is that Linda Bollea has filed for divorce for Hulk Hogan. Now, I mean, who would ever thought that Hulk Hogan is the more sane one in that family? He's the more sane guy in that family. Like, that is just shocking. Never would have thought that. The kind of funny thing about this is that Hulk Hogan never knew about it until a news reporter told him about it. So that's really kind of sad. And they were kind of pushing for a divorce angle on towards the end of the last season of Hogan. So, see how this plays out. I have a feeling she'll go get the divorce and Hulk will lose his money. Pretty much majority of his money, so yeah. The other strange story of the week, speaking related to Hulk Hogan, is the Nasty Boys, Brian Knobbs and Jerry Saggs. They worked a dark match on the SmackDown tapings, and the SmackDown ECW tapings in Tampa, and it was just a disaster. The Nasty Boys took way too long in the ring. They treated it as like stomping ground home reunion, like a cookout or something. They were high-fiving all their fans, and to make matters worse, they took liberties with their opponents, who was Dave Taylor, who was a veteran, a much respected guy in the locker room back there, and Drew McIntyre. Now, that match was so bad because, they took way too much time. They made the guys who have to change the SmackDown set over to the ECW set. They usually get 18 minutes, only had 6 minutes to change the whole set over. So that was just a disaster. It was a disaster of a match for them, and apparently now Vince doesn't even want them ever to work in the company. So the Nasties will never see him in the WWE or anymore if you ever thought of it. So I thought they could have been the tag team that gets inducted in the Hall of Fame, but that probably won't happen as a result of this incident. Matt Hardy, he had to undergo an emergency appendectomy on last Tuesday from the TV tapings in Tampa. They figured that out. So in a way, the surgery went okay, he's fine and all, but this knee injury angle, him with MVP, it's played out much better than we thought it would, because I don't know what they were gonna do. He's probably gonna show up the next night and just maybe challenge MVP for the title or just bum rush him out of the crowd. But this is gonna work out. He's gonna be out 1 to 3 months, so now he can come back. We can have a great story to build from there. Feeling Hardy will take the belt from him, and that'll be a great match there. Great feud. This feud is now building up because of this unfortunate incident, really, but now great for the storyline. And for TNA news, TNA is now wondering if Sting would like to consider unretiring. It was reported at the beginning of this whole year that we all knew Sting was going to retire at the end of 2007 and go on with some future endeavors, or just, flat out enjoy time with his family. But Dixie Carter and others are encouraging Sting not to retire, because they would like to see him in there more and work with more talent. And personally, one thing I think could happen is maybe Vince could offer Sting a contract. I really doubt that will happen, but I think it could happen, because, there's DVDs you can do with Sting. You can do a Sting Flair feud again, or have them be a tag team of some sort. I don't know, but I really it was because Sting said he never liked how Vince treated the WCW guys in that invasion angle, so I don't think that'll pan out, but yeah. And at the Turning Point pay-per-view, there'll be a Feast or Fire match where there'll be, I think, 4 briefcases hanging on ladders, and like each with certain title shots. I think that's how it's going, and one of them will say that you're fired. For the Toronto UWA Hardcore Wrestling, and I am one of them. If you're in the Toronto, Mississauga area, we have great news from them. They're close to financializing a new deal with different building and plan to run shows once again. Due to zoning laws, they are prohibited from running at the St. John's Hall in Mississauga. So great that UWA Hardcore is getting underway. Great talent, great indie talent, as long as some established talent. Ultimo Dragon works there. Ligers work there. The Motor City Machine Guns. there. Great matches with them there. The Blackout, for most of you who follow CZW, they're there. So many greats are there, and you know, a great contingency of Japanese. Great guys that come over there. Good to see that promotion getting back together again. And finally, last weekend's, not this weekend's, but I think 2 weeks now, CHIKARA had a season finale show, which was called Chapter 11, and Lince Dorand was injured, so the fans decided to donate money to him. So CHIKARA felt they kind of were, you know, they didn't want the fans to pay for that, but they decided to put up charity auctions on eBay. I will put the links in the description, as long as I will put a trailer to the vehicular lunacy thing. It just looks intense. So, you know, they feel terrible about it, and they're trying to get a new show for their season finale because they felt they went on a bad note. And anyways, before I go, I have 2 things to say. If you're a big Ric Flair fan, be sure to check out Raw tonight, because he's going to be returning. One thing I would like to see happen is the Flair music come out, and you know, everyone gets a huge pop, and it's just Santino with a blonde wig and the robe, and that would be intense. I would really like to see Flair and Santino work. Santino, we all know, is weak as hell in the ring, but he's a great guy on the mic now. He's funny, he's a more entertaining guy. I mean, Santino works well with these legends and stuff. He's worked great with Austin. He's worked okay. His stuff on the mic, obviously, as I just stated, was great with Lawler. Terrible in the ring, but you know, Flair maybe can pull something out of him. We don't know. And what else was I gonna mention? I don't know. I forgot completely what I was gonna say there before we. Oh, anyways, yes, now I remember. For those of you who saw SmackDown, the beginning of the episode where we have Edge and Vicky Guerrero, you know, this love of his life or whatever now he said, and to help him get the title shot, all the storyline stuff. I wonder what you guys thought of it, because post a video response with what your thoughts are on that whole Edge thing, because personally, I feel it's kind of disgusting. I don't really like it. They could have picked someone else. They could have found another way, in my mind, to get maybe Edge and Vicky to cohort a deal. Not like that. I don't like that. Just because the fact you could mention Eddie. I don't think they will. They did it with the Ray storyline, and maybe, I think, a Benoit one where Chavo and Vicky were going to hook up. I can't remember in particular. But what do you feel? You think it's great heel heat? Disgusting? Or are you undecided? Please hit me with your video response explaining your opinion and why do you think that. Anyway, guys, that's another edition of In the Squared Circle with the Dirty White Boy. Remember, check Raw because you'll see Flair returning, and I will post the links to the DVDs and the DVD trailer for Vehicular Lunacy and for the eBay auctions. And yes, please hit me with video response. I want to know what your thoughts are on this Edge Vicky Guerrero angle. Anyways, I'm out for now. Peace.